Welcome students, I am Kuber Raja, Assistant Professor, Department of Physics, Government College of Engineering, Bodi Nayagnur. In the previous video, already we have discussed about the concept of load, deformation and deforming forces. In this video, let us enter into our subject, elasticity. Elasticity is a branch of physics which deals with the elastic property of materials. This is the definition of elasticity, the property on account of which the body opposes the deforming forces and regain its original shape and size, and the removal of deforming forces is called elasticity. When the external force is applied to an object, there will be some changes in its length, shape, size or volume. When the external force is removed, if the body regains its original shape and size, then the body is said to be a perfect elastic body. But in nature, no body is perfectly elastic. The property of elasticity is different in different materials. These are the examples of elastic bodies. The best example is a quartz fiber. This is the nearest approach of perfect elastic body. The other examples are phosphor bronze, rubber, metallic crystals. Now one question, which one is more elastic, steel or rubber? According to your common sense, you can say that rubber is more elastic than steel, but it is not true. According to our definition of modulus, we can say that steel is more elastic than rubber. We will see about modulus of elasticity in later slides. Plasticity is the opposite of elasticity. This is the basic definition of plasticity, the property possessed by a body due to which it does not regain its original shape and size and it remains in the deformed state even after the removal of deforming forces is called the plasticity. If the body does not regain its original shape and size after the removal of the external force, then the body is said to be the perfect plastic body. But in nature, no body is perfectly plastic or perfectly the elastic bodies. Here, these are the examples of the plastic bodies or the inelastic bodies. Chewing gum, wax, clay, lead solder, put it off. These are the examples of the elastic body. Next, let us see about what is known as the rigid body. If the distance between any 2 points in a body is unaltered due to the application of the external force, then the body is said to be a rigid body. But in nature, no body is perfectly a rigid body. Now you can ask a question, why the elastic bodies come back to its original state after the removal of the external force? Here, see this diagram. Here, in a three-dimensional atomic lattice, the atoms and molecules are connected by means of some chemical bonds. These chemical bonds that behaves like a spring. Here, when the external force is applied to a body, there is a displacement, relative displacement of atoms and molecules with respect to each other. Due to the external force, some work is done on the object. This work done is stored as the elastic potential energy of the object. See this, here the force is given by F is equal to minus kx. This is called the elastic spring force. Here the force F is directly proportional to the displacement x. This is also called as the restoring force. Since the restoring force is against the displacement, we have to put a minus sign, minus x. Therefore, there is some constant, proportionality constant k. That constant is a spring constant. Therefore, we can say that F is equal to minus kx. Due to corresponding to the force, there is a work is done on the object. Therefore, there is elastic potential energy stored on this object. This potential energy is given by half kx square. This is always positive. If the deforming forces are removed, the energy stored bring back the body to its original condition. For example, the bow and the arrow system. If you are stretch the string of the bow, then there is a corresponding to the work done on the string, the energy is stored, elastic potential energy is stored. When the external force is removed, the stored elastic potential energy that appeared as a kinetic energy of the arrow attached with a string. Next, let us see about stress. This is a definition of the stress. Stress is defined as the restoring force per unit area inside the body or the deforming force per unit cross-sectional area of the body. Simply, you have to remember that stress is a restoring force per area or force per unit area. This is the formula for the stress. Stress is equal to deforming force by area. In notation, F by A. How to find out the unit of the stress? To find the unit of stress, you have to know the SI unit of force and the area. The SI unit of force is Newton and that of area is meter square. Therefore, the SI unit of stress is Newton per meter square or Newton meter power minus 2. There are three types of stresses. First one is linear stress or longitudinal stress. Second one is shearing stress or tangential stress. Third one is volume stress or bulk stress. If the force acts perpendicular to the surface of the body, then we can say that that stress is a normal stress. If the force acts parallel to the surface of the body, then the stress is a shearing stress or tangential stress. Depending on the stress applied, it can be classified into the compressive stress and the tensile stress. The compressive stress produces compression. The tensile stress produces the tension. Corresponding to next, let us see about strain. Strain is defined as the ratio of change in any dimension to the original dimension of the body. Formula: strain is equal to change in dimension by original dimension. Since it is the ratio of the same quantity, strain has no unit. There are three types of strain. Corresponding to the three stresses, there are three types of strain: linear strain or longitudinal strain, shearing strain or tangential strain, volume strain or bulk strain. What is meant by the linear strain? Here the linear strain is defined as the change in length per unit length of the object. Suppose if you are taking small l as a change in length, capital L as the original length, then the linear strain is equal to small l by capital L. Volume strain or bulk strain, similar to this, we can also define volume strain is equal to small v by capital V. Next, elastic limit. The maximum stress up to which a body exhibits the property of elasticity is called elastic limit. When you increase the stress to your body, here the strain is produced in the object. Here the body exhibits the property of elasticity only up to a particular limit, particular value of stress. Therefore, this maximum stress up to which a body exhibits the property of elasticity is called the elastic limit. Next, let us see about the Hooke's law. This is a very important law. It is frequently asked in a 2-mark questions of Anna University semester exams. Hooke's law. Within the elastic limit, stress in a body is directly proportional to strain produced on it. Simply, you have to remember that within an elastic limit, stress is directly proportional to strain. In notation, we can write that stress is proportional to strain. If you are writing with a proportionality sign, definitely there must be some proportionality constant. Stress is equal to constant into strain. Therefore, stress by strain is equal to a constant. We can take that constant as a capital E. This constant of proportionality is known as a coefficient of elasticity or modulus of elasticity. E is different for different materials. The modulus of elasticity value, it may be varied for the different materials. The SI unit of modulus of elasticity is Newton per meter square. It is similar to the unit of the stress, because the stress has the unit Newton per meter square, strain has no unit. Therefore, the unit of modulus of elasticity is Newton per meter square. Thank you.